Okay, so our previous chapter was a brief introduction about the traffic engineering chapter. So, our first parameters of the traffic study is traffic flow, then spot speed, then speed and delay analysis, origin and destination study, parking study, and accident study. So, in this class, we'll get to know about the traffic flow or volume study. Now, as we have discussed already in different section, that traffic flow or traffic volume is nothing but the number of vehicles crossing a particular section of the road in unit time, and it is generally expressed as vehicle per hour. Now, traffic flow is the study of the movements of individual drivers and vehicles between two points and the interactions they make with one another. Now, this traffic flow, whenever you are deciding about the traffic flow, in the traffic flow, there are different type of drivers, there are different type of vehicles, and there are interactions between the driver and vehicles. Therefore, this traffic flow studies is very much indeterministic. Okay, but something is there. Something is means drivers tend to behave within a reasonable, consistent limit. Therefore, somehow you can, or for a somewhat portions or a small portion, you can predict about the traffic flow. Now, the traffic flow characteristics shows the dynamic change at different time intervals through the day. Now, how dynamic changes is possible? Suppose you have the flow data or number of vehicles crossing a particular sections of the road. You have that data. Suppose in this x-axis it denotes time, and in the y-axis suppose is denote traffic volume. Okay, now if we divide this time into different hours, like here it is 0, then 1, then 2, like that. In that case, if we plot the traffic volume data, you will get the data like this type. Okay, there will be two peak in the traffic volume data, and one peak is called morning peak and another peak is called evening peak. Now, this morning and evening peak is basically due to the morning and evening office rush hours. Okay, now the traffic flow characteristic shows the dynamic change at different time intervals through the day, as we have discussed. Now, although the traffic flow by its non-linear nature is complex, traffic congestion can be a certain extent predicted and it can be controlled. Now, this traffic flow theory, there are two types of traffic flow theory. One is uninterrupted flow and another one is interrupted flow. Now, uninterrupted flow, as the name suggests, it is the traffic flow which is not interrupted by any means of disturbance. Okay, now here in the uninterrupted flow, there would be no control access. That means there would be no signal, nothing will be there. The vehicles or the drivers have the complete authority to drive their vehicle. So basically this uninterrupted flow condition can be seen in the highway, and traffic stream characteristics only depends on the geometric design and vehicles and others. This is uninterrupted flow. Now coming to the next portion, that is interrupted flow. So in the interrupted flow, there would be huge number of vehicles. There would be different control access to the highway. Control access means through different path which you can access a highway. Suppose this is a highway. Okay, and suppose if it is the starting point and if it is the ending point, and in between, if you cannot access the highway, in that case it is unaccessible, or in that case the flow between them would be uninterrupted. Suppose there are fences are provided over there in both the side of the road. In that case you cannot go, or you cannot access the road. In that case the flow pattern in the road would be uninterrupted. Now suppose there are different control access means, suppose it is a road and it is connected by other small roads in different location. Okay, so in that case what will happen, different vehicles from different small path will easily access the main highway, and it will interrupt the already available vehicles over the existing road. So in the interrupted flow there are different characteristics like traffic signals. Their traffic signals can be applied, stopping and different restarting points would be there, and plateaus may happen. Now what does this mean by plateau? Suppose there is one highway, okay, and in this highway, suppose in some portions of the road, some repairing works are going on. Okay, suppose these are the portions where some repairing work is going on. Now suppose some vehicles are moving in that portion. So this total lane would be full with the vehicles. Okay, so that would be similar in that portions and in that portions also. So as the road width is more over there, in that case the vehicle can be easily accommodated over this place. But as soon as the vehicles approaching over there, so there is suddenly a shrinkage in the, or lesser width of the road section. Okay, for this reason, what will happen? All these vehicles over there will forced to reduce their speed and move along this way. Okay, and within this, they will follow one another, creating some platoons of the vehicles. This is called platoons of the vehicles. Okay, that all the vehicles together going in a same directions. Okay, that is platoons of the vehicles. So platoons may happen in the interrupted flow. And definition of the traffic volume, as we have discussed, that number of vehicles crossing a particular sections of the road in unit time, and it is generally expressed as vehicle per hour. Now the objective of the traffic volume study are, it is generally accepted as a true measure of the relative importance of the roads, and in deciding the priority for the further improvement. So relative important means suppose two roads are there. Okay. Now you need to find which road is more important. In that case, what we do, we go for a traffic volume study. Now, in the traffic volume study, the important road would have the maximum number of volume or maximum volume. Okay, so maximum volume means that the number of vehicles in the primary road would be more. Therefore, traffic volume study gives an idea about the relative importance of the road. Then, it is used in planning traffic operation and control of existing facilities and also planning new facilities. Okay, suppose one intersection is there, and suppose that is a signalized intersection. Now you have seen in the signalized intersection there are some numbers which are counting downs. Okay, and that denotes green light or red light, something like that. Now, that particular green light time or that particular countdown time, basically, it should be depending on the traffic volume exists over that particular road. Okay, so time to time you have to check the traffic volume in different intersecting roads, and based on the traffic volume data, you can allot different timing based on the importance of the road section. Then it is used in the analysis of traffic patterns and trends. Then useful in structural design of the pavement. Structural design of the pavement, that is also important because through traffic volume we get to know what would be the maximum number of traffic which or vehicles which would be present over there. Then pedestrian traffic volume. Pedestrian traffic volume means where you count the number of pedestrians crossing a particular section of the road. That is important for design of the sidewalk, crosswalk, okay, subway and pedestrian signals. Now, traffic volume count. Now, how we will count the traffic volume? So, in our first chapter, the previous class, we have discussed about the design vehicles. So basically, in the road section, there are different type of vehicles moving over there, and the design vehicles, which we have already discussed in our previous in the previous class, that design vehicles is basically called passenger car unit. So why it is passenger car unit? Generally, the passenger car are considered as standard. Okay, and their PCU values or passenger car unit value is considered as 1, and based on the passenger car, all the other vehicle types are converted into passenger car unit. Now, how it is converted? Okay, there are different values depending on the vehicle dimensions and vehicle speeds over the particular area. Suppose your passenger car or C has a issue value of 1. Okay, suppose number of vehicles and issue total. So how you do it? Suppose your passenger car that is 1. So suppose number of vehicles over there is, you observe 10 numbers of vehicles. So PCU per hour would be 10 into 1, that is 10. Now suppose there are buses. Okay, suppose the PCU value for buses is 3, and you have observed a total five number of buses over there. So your total PCU count would be 5 into 3, 50. Okay, so total number would be ultimately you can add up this, that is 5 and 112, 25, and ultimately you will write PCU per hour. Okay, so in this way it is very much helpful to convert different vehicle classes into a single unit, and it is called PCU. Now traffic volume counts, okay, can be uh, obtained by different methods. So first one is manual count method. Manual count method means, suppose that is a road sections. Okay, you place one mark across the road section, and you will write down or note down different number of vehicles, or what are the total number of vehicles which are crossing that particular section of the road in this direction or in that direction. So there will be two directional changes. So first we will define the direction. Suppose one is in the southbound directions and another is suppose in the northbound direction. So in that case, how you will note it down? So in one side, there would be different vehicle classes like car, bus, two-wheelers, like that. Okay. And in another column, you will simply just mark the number of vehicles you observed over there. So how these numbers are marked? Okay, there is also a specific system to mark the vehicles in the manual count method. Suppose you have observed one car, so you will mark this as like one. Suppose you have observed another car, then second one. Suppose another car, third one, another one, fourth one. Then whenever you have observed the fifth one, you just cross it. Okay. Then again you will start one, two, three, four, then five. Likewise, one, two, three, four, five. Sorry, five. So likewise, you can count the total number of vehicles for a particular car is five, 5 plus 5 plus 5, that is 15 numbers. So this is the way how manual counting methods is conducted. Now another thing is there, that suppose you need to collect the traffic volume data from morning 6 to evening 6. Now in the manual count method, it is not possible to take the data from of this 12 hours time. Okay, therefore, what you will do, in each and every hour, you can choose either 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 minutes for your survey. So, suppose from 6 to 7 a.m. So, within that 6 to 7 a.m., there is total 1 hour. So, within that 1 hour, you just choose 15 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes for your survey. Now, this 5 minutes data or 10 minutes data will represent the total hourly data of that particular time period. Now, another thing is that manual counting method is generally conducted on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Generally, weekends are generally Saturday and Sunday. These weekends periods are generally avoided because in the weekends there will be less number of office traffic. Okay, and huge number of recreational traffic. So they do not actually visualize the actual situations. Therefore, this weekend traffic are generally avoided, And another thing is Monday and Friday is also avoided. Why? In the Friday, as next day is Saturday, there would be rush in the evening hours for the maximum employee who are staying outside of a particular area to go to their home. And similarly, in the Monday morning period also, there will be a rush who are coming from the different adjacent area to that particular area. Okay, so therefore, your manual counting method or manual count method of the survey is conducting during the Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Now, in the manual count method, you will uh, uh, categorically or systematically note down the number of different classes of vehicles, and for this reason, it is called classified count. Okay, manual count method can also be called classified count. Now, the advantage of the classified count is all the details like vehicles classifications, number of occupants, etc. can be obtained from the manual count method. Now, records of the turning movement of the vehicle, that is, the vehicles are moving into which direction in the intersection, that can also be counted in the manual count method. Now, analyzing traffic characteristics in unusual conditions such as adverse weather conditions, traffic breakdowns, temporary closure of any lane or highway, like such adverse condition can also be made through this manual count method. Then data accumulated by manual methods are easy to analyze. Now, disadvantage, you cannot gather a large number of data through the manual count method, and counts of remote areas is not possible through the manual count method. Now, next comes the automatic counters. Okay, so in the automatic counters, that number of vehicles will be automatically counted, and different automatic counters can take down or note down the data for up to 1 or 2 years like that, continuously for 1 year like that. Now, there are different type of automatic counters. One is portable counters. So, in the portable counters, it's a form of manual observation basically. So, these portable counters serve as the same purpose as manual counts, but here you do not have to write anything. Okay, do not have to count anything. This counting is automatic. Now, the period of data collection using this method is usually longer than whenever you are using manual count. So, one example of the manual count, that is portable counters, is pneumatic tube or pneumatic road tube. So, in the first picture, in this picture, see, these are the pneumatic tube. Okay, these two are the pneumatic tube. So whenever a vehicle crosses that particular portions, in that case, based on the weight of the vehicle, so based on the pressure exerted over there, these manual count, these portable counters are
Sir,
automatically noted down. Hello,
sir, সীমা মেমে ক্লাছ ল'ম বুলি কৈছে এতিয়া।
कितने बजे?
এতিয়া লিংক দিছে, এতিয়া ল'ম কৈছে sir।
अभी तो मेरा क्लास चल रहा है ना, और अभी तो तुम लोग का ब्रेक पीरियड है ना।
हाँ, फिर भी सीमा मैम बोल रहा है अभी।
अभी बोलो 1 बजे से क्लास नहीं लेगी, 1 बजे से बोलो।
ठीक है सर।
ठीक है, और वेट फॉर, और अदरवाइज यू कैन टेल हर टू वेट फॉर 15 और 15 to 20 minutes, लेट मी फिनिश द क्लास, आफ्टर दैट यू कैन जॉइन आवर क्लास। ठीक है, अभी हो जाएगा 10 to 15 मिनट्स, मैं कंप्लीट कर लूँगा। Okay, so these are the pneumatic tube. So in the pneumatic tube, whenever a vehicle crosses that particular tube, then the pressure exerted on the tube is recorded and it is counted as a vehicle process over there. Okay, so this is pneumatic. Now another thing is permanent counters. The permanent counters are used when long-term counts are to be conducted. The counts to be performed every day for a year or more. Now the data collected may be used to monitor and evaluate traffic volumes and trends over a long period of time. Now there are different types of permanent counters. Like for example, this is a permanent counter. Okay, this is a permanent counter. So in the permanent counters, there is no limiting to another thing. One machine will be installed over there, and whenever a vehicle crosses over there, it will automatically count the number of vehicles which crosses that particular section. Now, apart from portable and automatic counter, there are there are other type of counting, that is videotape or videography. So basically, this method is a semi-automatic method. So in this method, what happens? Suppose one road section is there, you place one marking over the or crossing the road section and place one video camera over there. So whenever some vehicles will process that particular sections, all these things will be recorded over the video camera. So this is a semi-automatic method. Why semi-automatic method? Because the data, whatever available in the field, that data can be collected through a video photography method. So in the field, you do not have to write down anything, or you do not have to personally collect the data. That video camera will do this thing. But whenever you are trying to extract that data, then again in the room you need to manually count the number of vehicles which crosses over there. So for this reason, this is a semi-automatic method. But in the video photography method, maximum number of or maximum portion of data can be extracted. Okay, basically in the video photography method, you can count the number of vehicles, as well as you can also count the speed of the vehicles crossing that particular section. Now, automatic traffic counters, they may be fixed or permanent or portable type. Now, old methods of automatic counters is by effect of impulses on pneumatic tube. So basically, there is a old method or there is a portable method, and it is based on some pressure exerted on a tube, and through the tube, that number of vehicles data will be collected. And in the modern technique that detect the crossing of different vehicles based on their axle length and axle loads. But the drawback of the automatic counters is it cannot give details of the turning movements or type of commodity or vehicle occupancy. Vehicle occupancy means that that what number of seats are occupied in the vehicle. Another method is moving observer method. So in the moving observer method, one observer will hire a vehicle and he will move along the road. Okay, suppose there is a road section. Suppose it is a two-way road section. So, suppose this is the direction of the movement in this way, and this is the direction of the traffic in the particular section. So, the moving observer will hire a vehicle, and first he will move along this direction and count the number of vehicles which this observer crosses or overtakes. Similarly, again he will go in this direction and count the number of vehicles which he overtake or crosses. Okay, and that would be within a particular period of time. That is called moving observer method. Okay, you can put your attendance in the chat and leave the class.